What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Corvette Weekly. We're here today with a special guest. I'm going to bring that person in a second. It's not this person, and it is kind of this person, Brandon, but I'm also pointing to the other person too. Anyway, guys, welcome back to the Corvette Weekly. Thanks for pressing play. Thanks all of you guys for joining in as usual.
Hi, Charlie.
One of the first comments I saw that I liked right off the bat was from Brad here. He says, Trump, football, MLK, and HPO, what a day. So we've had a lot of stuff going on today. Lots of stuff going on today. So as usual, guys, right off the bat, smash the thumbs up button. Let us know you're liking the content. And yeah, we're going to finish up a giveaway tonight of the carbon fiber strut tower covers. And we're also going to continue the E5 wheels giveaway, which of course is the gift certificate to be entered to win the gift certificate at the end of this month. That drawing will be done next Monday night. So yeah. Oh, jeez. All right. So we ready? All right. Let's bring in the special guest, guys. Any guess? Any guess who the special guest is? Oh, Onyx kind of ruined it.
Oh, somebody doesn't like David.
No, he accidentally stepped on him or something. He gets crazy whenever that stuff happens. God. What a surprise. All right, guys. So David is here at the horsepower obsessed compound, we'll call it. So compound. Let me slide down a little bit.
Okay. All right.
There we go. We get both of us on the screen. Look at that. Look at that.
That's a good looking team right there.
Side by side, finally. Next time we get Brandon up here too.
Yep.
Or somehow we're in a group on the same screen. He said, Professor Corvette says, whoa, how did he get through his red rectangle into yours?
I thought about that. Like, how are we going to
Just bust through, yeah.
Just to bust through, yeah.
That would have been pretty cool. What a horrible time to be in PA. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I texted him. I said, man, are you going to be all right coming from Georgia up here? It's freaking 7 degrees right now.
Yeah, it's cold.
Is it snowing or is it like dry at least?
It's dry, but I mean, there's snow on the ground. There's like probably, 6 inches or so out there.
Yeah.
And it's 7 degrees.
Yeah, it's
I
cold.
I drove my TRX down to pick him up, and the whole front end of the TRX is just white with salt.
Oh, hey, David, what'd you think of the TRX? How did it drive? He's got a lot
Okay.
bigger wheels and tires and stuff.
He does, and it drives me, but your whine with your pulley and your everything is way louder.
Yeah.
The whine on your supercharger.
Yeah.
Because even just cruising,
Yep.
your supercharger is too loud.
Too loud. There's no such thing.
Yeah. I mean, it can be loud for like the wife and stuff, on occasion, but
I have an aftermarket air intake on my truck, and it made that whine a lot louder.
Yeah, no, his does too. And with the pulley, he's spinning it faster. So, but no, I love it, man. Like even when I drove yours, man, I love that TRX.
Yeah. If you're going for a truck and you don't need it for like work purposes, that you can't get a better truck than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, the main topic we're going to be talking about tonight is going to be the price of the ZR1 versus the loaded Z06. So we're going to talk about this pretty much all night, but ultimately it's going to be a running theme here. The $175,000 that the ZR1 starts at, you can get a fully loaded Z06 for that. So when I say fully loaded, I mean 3LZ, Z07, carbon fiber wheels, the works.
Right.
175 will get you a loaded Z06 or a base model ZR1. What do you think? What do you guys think? But LT4 Power says, did he fly into Latrobe or Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh. Latrobe's been, we flew Delta, which I don't think Delta even flies into Latrobe. Spirit does from time to time, but it depends on where you're coming from. Like they used to fly in from Fort Lauderdale, now they don't. So kind of sucks for me because that was a great flight from go to Latrobe and then go to Fort Lauderdale. It was great.
Latrobe's awesome too.
Yeah, the 2025 Z06 MSRP has gone up a little bit, but what's all in your build, Professor Corvette? And are you from the States? I'm pretty sure you are.
It has to be everything.
I didn't know you could get it that high. I
I
knew
was
you
saying
could
it has to
get
be
like
everything.
180 something. I didn't realize you could
Well,
get
I know
200.
I built my exact car with the Z07, 3LZ, and carbon fiber wheels, and I was at like 173. So I'm a hair under where the ZR1 starts, literally loaded with every single option I would want.
That's a hard call, though, man.
It's
You know what I mean? Like,
that's why I made it the topic for tonight. It is a hard call.
Be on fire in the comments tonight.
It's a hard call, but what are you gonna do? Let's see what we got. One of the questions in here. $5 from Kevin. Thank you for the first super chat of the night, guys. Again, thumbs ups. Every $10 donated gets you an entry to win this guy right here, the carbon fiber strut tower covers, and every $10 donated gets you in on the E5 wheel giveaway, which is actually supposed to be on the screen here. I messed around with it earlier. But yeah, so every $10 gets you an entry, guys. First donation of the night comes from Kevin. He says, when are you going to do a giveaway for your Z06 or ZR1? The second Tuesday of next week. I know that was dumb, but I think you get it. So
if you did your Z06 for a giveaway, that would take like a year and a half, probably.
It would have to take quite some time because it would be one of those things I can't just. No. I'm not going to lose 150 grand on a car giveaway, you know?
Yeah.
This freaking thing. There it is.
There we are.
Kind of covering Brand's head, but there we go. So E5 Wheels, guys, they are the sponsor for the month of January. Next Monday night, we're going to be giving away the gift certificate to get the E5 wheel basically package. It's going to be a $500 gift certificate off of any one of their set of wheels, which we'll show later on the channel here. We'll go to their website and actually show off some of their wheels. They have 3 different sets of wheels currently. They're working on a line of forged wheels as well. Really good company to work with. Really nice people. Dante, have you met Dante?
Yeah, I met him at Carlisle. He's really cool. Yeah, he's working on the Z06 stuff.
Yep.
But the ones they have right now for the C8, and then I liked the C7 ones. What's the ones on Dana's car? The
Daytona.
Sebring or the Daytona?
I think it's the Daytona.
I like the ones on Dana's car. That looks really good. They look really good.
Yeah, they do.
So,
they look good.
That's cool.
Daytona. Yeah.
They're really similar to the
Z06.
Z06.
Yep.
Yeah, they look really good.
Yep, it's not a bad thing either. So
no, and I like the bronze too. Like that finish. Because I was telling Nate was looking at some bronze wheels for his car. I think with that carbon flash, the bronze would look real good. So
2020 Matrix 8. Jeremy just recently acquired a black TRX. We're gonna be doing some cool stuff with that. It sounds like so. Oh yeah, guys, we got the power of the dude tonight times 2.
If we don't get sponsored, we're
never getting sponsored if they don't do it now. Now we just got to get Brandon to do the do.
That's right.
But he's
I'm a Diet Dr. Pepper guy. That's my go-to.
Let's see. We had another Charles S donates $9.99. Thank you, Charles. You're going to get in for an entry, Charles S. You already have one in here, it looks like. So now you got 2. So again, guys, same rules as usual. If you want to get in on the giveaway, every $10 is a donation or an entry. If you are a member of the channel, I just need you to type the number 1 in the chat. Let me know you're a member. You'll get a free entry. If you're not a member and you would like to get to be a member because it's a little bit cheaper than the $10 donation, I'm going to paste the link in the chat. All you got to do is touch on that link, become a member. Your name will turn green over here. Type the number 1 and you're going to get your free entry. So definitely the way to do it. There's the link right there. Click on that. Set it up. You're going to get a free entry. You don't have to worry about paying anything. Now, for those of you who want to move forward and get some more entries, something a little bit more substantial that's going to increase your odds of winning, every $10 is an entry. $50 or more is double entries.
Gotta get in here and thumbs up this and put my 1 in there to get my free.
You better.
I know. You can put me in for 50 too. If I win the gift card, I'll give it away to somebody.
All right. So David is the second actually of the night. He's in for 10, 11 with his free entry. Actually, no, that's just can't get it on there, so it's gonna be 32.
I put my 1 in there just to make it official after I hit the thumbs up there. So
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, guys. So look at all those green names. I like that a lot. So
good, man.
It's getting good. Oh yeah, we
It looks like we doubled or tripled your size, Justin, on the subscribers.
By about doubled. We just hit 42. So really cool. Really cool. Larry Anthony says, Justin, I haven't tuned in lately. Do those strut tower covers work on my Z06? Technically, no. These particular ones don't have a hole in the center for the mag ride. Now, I say technically because you could easily add said hole if you really wanted to. It's not really a big deal because what pops through there is just the little rubber grommet from the mag ride. So you could drill a hole in there and it would work. But otherwise, technically, these are for non-mag ride cars. If you bought the cover for the car that's mag ride, what you're going to find is they just drilled a hole in the center of this. So you can do the same thing. So yes, it technically does work, but I have those on my car and love them. You don't realize how messy the strut tower top is until you cover it up.
Cleans that up. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Chopper Larry says he's going to win it with one entry. Hey, who was Nate last time? Yeah. And he won. Believe it was Nate. And he won what was Scrape Armor Grill Guards, right? Yeah. So $700 worth of stuff for $10.
Yep. Nate, you can drill a hole in it, man. Look, I've got a 23 Z button. I'm the only 24 Z06 with a red Paragon Z button. You can make it happen, bro.
Yeah, you can make it happen, man. It's literally
easy peasy, man.
Drill an inch hole in the center, you're good to go.
Now I know why Nate gambles. It's because he's actually lucky, unlike myself.
Well, he disappeared after Carlisle for like ever. We were worried about him being in the casino.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so Jay Brazelton is in for one entry. Now, guys, just to keep everybody up to date on this, these, as you enter every Monday night or whenever you send a donation, that is getting compounded. So, like Jay, I just added in his 22nd entry. He actually only paid for one entry tonight, but he's had 21 others this month. So these are all compounding. At the end of the month, we're going to run this giveaway and see who wins based on the entire month worth of donations. So this isn't every night. If you want to get in to win this, you don't have to wait until next Monday night. You can do it now, and everything will keep rolling through. So one more other thing I wanted to talk about. I set up a new T-shirt. I want to see if you guys like this. I'm actually wearing it right now. So
I love it.
This is the shirt.
That's right up my alley, man.
Got an AC/DC vibe to it.
It's Metallica.
It's Metallica, bro.
Metallica, there you go. Yeah.
So it's Metallica font, but it says horsepower obsessed. What do you guys think of this? Would you consider owning such a shirt? I thought it was pretty cool because I'm a big Metallica fan, and I don't know. Yeah.
Are you going to do it in red? I think red, obviously.
I probably would do it in red.
Yeah.
I will have it. I like it. I have it in white just because there's a black shirt with white writing on it that says Metallica that they actually sell. But I would do it with red as well.
Winner's always red.
These guys, I swear to God, they just come up with whatever.
Professor Corvette's always on point with his comments.
He is.
So he makes me laugh. I love it.
So first off, Ron says, Justin, did you get an invite to Rick Conti's event? I did. Rick actually texted me after he put that video out. He told me that he forgot to. There was a couple names he forgot to put in there, but mine was one of them. He said I'm invited, but there's not an official date yet. So until I know a date, I can't say for sure if I'm going to make it or not. I would love to be there. So I'm going to say yes, preliminary. But depending on some things I have in 2025 going on, I might not be able to make it. Yeah, it is Metallica font. But yeah, I'm just... yeah, I'm just curious. If I made this shirt for you guys, would you be interested in owning it? Meme says yes in red. Lars would be mad, but I like it. Yeah, Lars is mad about anything copyright.
Like
yeah, Napster. Man.
Yeah, exactly, Aaron.
Next shirt with the Mountain Dew font. You just made my next shirt. You absolutely did. That would be fantastic. I could do that. I could make that work.
Yeah, I like it. I've got to get one for sure. I like it.
Okay. I think I'm going to make some because, yeah, Super 8 Creations here. He's actually the guy that makes these things for me. So this shirt, hot off the press. I just got this out of the mailbox, I think, yesterday. I think it's pretty cool.
I like it.
I think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to get a couple of these, I think. We need some... If I put Metallica background music on here, a couple of things are going to happen.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Number one is, without a doubt, I'm going to get demonetized. But number 2, Lars himself will be at my front door serving me papers. So we don't want to necessarily go that route, but yeah. All right, so let's see. We got. Oh, David already paid me.
Yes, I did.
All right,
that's because I'm not using my phone right now. No
That's
need.
true.
Yeah.
All right, so again, guys, smash the thumbs up button. It doesn't look like Shane's in here, so smash the thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Let us know you're liking the content. Look at those guys. Look at all those thumbs.
Love them. That second one down on the left is really long, like strange long.
Is it?
Yeah.
Second on the left. Okay.
Look at it. That one.
Ooh.
Look how long that thumb is.
That is long.
Yeah.
I've never noticed that.
Yeah, but it's disturbing.
Thanks. Thank you.
Now you'll never.
Yeah, exactly. Chopper Larry says, "Give me fuel, give me fire." All right.
Yeah.
I like that. I like where this is going,
Yes.
guys. So I do. Seawolf loves Metallica. Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't think there would be that many people in here that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody loves Metallica. Even people that don't like Metallica.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metallica is pretty unforgiving regarding copyright infringement. Yeah, they've made their point in the past.
Yeah, I cracked off some riffs on a guitar back there today a little bit. Didn't have it plugged in, but I was like, I'm gonna play your guitar just.
The first time in a little bit. Do we have
locked in good?
Jay or Steve Risha? Do you see that name on this list?
Negative, sir.
What the heck?
Did you take him off because he won everything on like one?
He has won a lot in the past, so actually he should be a dude. All right, so it gets 4 Brandons.
4 Brandons.
Isn't 5 is the max, right?
Not 5, it's 4.
5 is the max. Yeah.
5 is the highest you can get.
Yeah.
5 is the highest. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Huh. Only 4 then. I don't know. I'm kind of upset about that. LT4 Power says Metallica fan, saw them 3 times live. Nice. I've never seen them live. I really want to. I think it would be a great idea to do that before they all die because they are definitely getting up there.
7 times.
7 times. Wow. Holy cow, dude. That's fantastic.
They've been around for 40 years.
It's been a long time. Yeah. That sounds to me like Great White. Andrew, you need this. You need this. I'm gonna get some more of these from Super 8 Creations here. He's the guy when it comes to it. Sorry for the delay. I was driving. Nice.
Well, you're here. That's nice. All that matters.
That's all that matters.
Right.
All right. So again, guys, I'm going to create a poll here, I think. $175,000 MSRP for the ZR1. Would you buy the ZR1 at a base for $175,000, or would you take a fully loaded Z06 instead? $175K base price. Base ZR1 or a fully loaded Z06 for the same price.
Yeah, it's a hard one, dude.
I think it's an easy one. I think this is the easiest
really
poll ever for me. Yeah.
Versus
I have a base
loaded...
Z06. Which one do you think I'm gonna pick?
Yeah.
That's true.
You know, I'm gonna pick the base Z01 all day long, every day, even on Sunday.
Well, yeah, but you're spending $175,000 though too, Brandon.
Like, yeah, I don't care. It's all about the power to weight. That's exactly where I'm going with it. Most bang for the buck. I feel like it's the most bang for the buck.
You're funny.
With the ZR1.
It is though. And honestly, like the numbers are insane, dude. The quarter and the 2.3 0 to 60 and 100 or 233 mile an hour, like forget it.
Well, which one's going to hold their value better? If like it's going to be the ZR1 too.
So, no, that's a question that is still up in the air because it really depends on how many ZR1s they make. If they limit ZR1 production in any way, shape, or form, I don't care how it is. If they limit it any way, the ZR1 holds its value better regardless. But if they don't, which they said they are not going to, but I've heard so many different rumors saying that they're going to be limited because of this, or this. We'll see.
Well, and I have to comment on that comment right here. Chopper Larry says it's not worth it for the horsepower you'll never use. Have you not watched Brandon drive? Have you not seen him at the track? That dude, anybody will find a way to use that horsepower.
Did you record anything at Ron Fellows, Brandon?
Yeah, I have my track time. I have like my lap. I don't think I recorded really anything else. Just
I didn't really record much either, and I kind of wish I would have now because
I tried to catch everything. It was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be.
That's exactly why I didn't do it, because there was just so much going on. I was like,
and you're physically just gassed.
And you are, man.
Yeah, it was a lot, man.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, if you have never seen Brandon will be the guy to use all 1,064 horsepower. My favorite, Brandon, I think is the race with you and Nate, where you come up to the bridge and Nate lifted and you were just like, I'm not lifting, bro. I was like, I was behind you in the Tesla. Like,
life or death.
Yeah, I was like, Brandon's gonna win or die.
I've been lucky for 43 years. I hope I'll be lucky for one more year.
There you go. That's all you need.
It's so weird that some people have that ability to just be like, if I die, I die. It was a good life. But like me, I'm like, nope, not going to wreck the car. Nope, not curbing the wheel. That's not going to happen.
I don't know. Brandon never lives.
I don't know if it's stupidity or confidence or what, but for some reason I can turn that switch off whenever it's a competitive thing.
Yeah, well, at that point it's like on and no off. Like look, my decision, that's a tough one for me. For you, you would have to get the Z01 just so I could see what you do with it, right? Like, yeah,
that's a good point.
Well,
I'm gonna have to live vicariously through you, David.
Catoosa, hey, look, you're welcome to drive it anytime, but the Catoosa County will be like, I think my radar gun's broken. That shit's at 200 mile an hour.
All right, so Chopper Larry says the Z06 is set for greatness with its bespoke engine. This is one thing that I feel like a lot of people are forgetting. The engine that is in the Z06 and how special it is going to be in history. So I've said this before, but the Z06 always typically, or it always has, pretty much always has an engine that everybody strives for. So the C6 Z06 had the LS7, everybody wants that engine. I mean, the C6 ZR1 is an awesome car, but I very rarely hear anybody talking about anything but the C6 Z06. Not saying the C6 ZR1 is not a cool car, because it definitely is. But the C7 ZR1 is only as cool as it is. There's two reasons. Because number one, production was limited. But number two, the Z06 didn't have like a really solid, like, this is the engine you want in your car kind of thing. They put that same engine in a bunch of different cars. It didn't make it special. So, and even the C5 Z06, that was the car that people want in the C5 lineup too, is because the C5 Z06, again, had the cooler engine. And it's like, it's always, the Z06 always gets that engine that people seem to want. I said from the very beginning, even with my ZR1, I said the Z06 is always the best bang for your buck. Even in the C7 generation, it's still the best bang for your buck. You're getting 650 horsepower for roughly, 70 grand right now. Even when they were brand new, they were, 50 grand less than the ZR1s, and they were only 90 or 100 horsepower less. And there's so many things that factor in with the ZR1, the current C8 ZR1. Number one, the engine's great, making a massive amount of power, of course, but it's not that naturally aspirated, highest revving possible.
Yeah, because you're going to lose some RPM.
You're going to lose some RPM. Plus, we haven't even talked about, Jessica just brought it up, the insurance, the insurance costs on this thing, the possible gas guzzler fee. A lot of people are speculating that this thing's going to use a lot of gas because you need a lot of gas to get to 1,000 horsepower. I mean, there's a lot of engines out there that push to their absolute maximum with race fuel struggle to hit 1,000 horsepower. So what did GM do to this thing to get it to hit 1,000 horsepower on pump gas?
Yeah, and it's still 5.5, right?
Right.
I've got a 427 Challenger with 3-liter Whipple blower on it. That on the driving around tune is 1,050, right? And that's on E85 with a fuel system, all this stuff. And they're going to give you a warranty with 1,064 horsepower. Man, that's just crazy. Just crazy.
That is crazy.
And you know what? Like, people are commenting on the insurance. I did ask, and I think I told you this when we said on the live, that I asked NCM Insurance the last time I was up, when we were up there on the bash talking with them. They were saying, I said, are they going to be covering ZR1s? Are they going to offer coverage? Of course, it's personal. It'll be different for each person. But they said they would. He said it ain't going to be cheap. That was his words exactly. It ain't going to be cheap. So just know that you might be able to get it insured, but it may cost you a fortune just to insure that joker, because they're handing you 1,000 horsepower car. Most people don't even understand. Some of you in the comments have driven 1,000 horsepower car, but 1,000 horsepower car, most people can't handle that, man.
Yeah, and that's another thing that with the insurance, even if your insurance company agrees that they're going to insure this, which is by itself kind of hit or miss thing. There's a lot of companies out there that aren't even going to short, period, let alone at a reasonable cost. I mean, I know right now my Z06 is, well, it was the third cheapest car on my policy to insure. That's pretty freaking good for 670 horsepower.
Right.
Believe it or not, the cheapest car on my insurance right now is my ZR1. Makes no sense at all, but I'm not going to question it too much. But
Wait,
regardless.
so what's the most expensive? The Lyric? Is that the most expensive?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the
That's
Lyric's the most
interesting.
expensive. My TRX is second. Z06 is third, and ZR1's fourth.
You know, that's interesting because my Plaid is more expensive.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask you. I was just gonna ask you.
Well,
And my TRX is cheaper than both of those.
Yeah, my TRX is the second most expensive, which I kind of expected. But the reason for the electric thing is it has to have, you know, whether people want to acknowledge this or not, it has to have something to do with the fact that they could burn to the ground. And like if you get into an accident, the odds of that car coming away from said accident and being repairable are very slim, depending on, I mean,
Yeah.
of course, depends on the
Yeah, that's probably because they totaled them out. So they're
My
safe,
wife's
so-
just front corner got hit and her wide totaled. And when you looked at it, you would think that's a $6,000 fix on any other car. But
Oh,
because
wow.
there was contact with the battery, it
Yeah,
was
that's
toast
it.
and it got totaled.
Yep. And anytime the battery's involved in anything, it's cheaper for them to total it than mess with it because those batteries are so volatile. Like, I mean, that's another thing is, I don't know about for you, Brandon, because you have a garage separate from your house, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with us, with an attached garage, I would imagine my homeowner's insurance probably would prefer that car was not parked in the garage.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And yet that is another thing with the TRX, especially. My TRX is number 2 on my insurance because it is an easily stolen vehicle.
Right.
Not so much because it's got a lot of horsepower, but because
Easy to steal.
there's everywhere that you're going. I'm constantly hearing about TRXs or a Hellcat engine of some kind being stolen.
Yeah, no, Brandon.
Well, try driving one in Atlanta. You can forget about driving a TRX in
I
Atlanta.
was just gonna say TRX or a Hellcat or
I wouldn't.
It's gone.
Yeah,
It's
I
gone.
wouldn't.
I mean, at least mine's a manual, so that knocks out a lot of people that would
Yeah.
steal it. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, but
They'd knock out the window and be like,
Yeah.
nope, on to the next one.
But like Brandon has like different locks on his TRX too.
Yeah.
Because actually, when you were going to get yours, there was more than one on the lot, and the other one got stolen or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
he
got
told
stolen
it.
while I was there.
That's so crazy.
I
That
guess
is so
My
crazy.
question would be, is an E-Ray more expensive than a Z06 then because of the small battery or the small battery?
That's a good question.
I have no idea. I know with my insurance policy, I've talked about it more than once on this channel. My insurance policy is really, really cheap. It's through Erie Insurance. It's not National Corvette Museum. They couldn't beat the rate. So I'd have to actually, I'm gonna actually do that. I'm gonna look up a 3LT or 3LZ E-Ray and
Yeah, that's
compare
a
it
good
on my
question.
insurance and see what it would be.
I'll call NCM tomorrow and say for me, for the exact same coverage for my
Yeah.
Z06 for E-Ray, and see how much it'll be. I'll call tomorrow.
I bet it's more money.
I bet it is.
If it
something
is-
tells me it's more money.
If it is, Brandon,
It
it's
is.
it's because of exactly what I said with the battery stuff, and that's why my wife's Lyric is more expensive too. So one thing I saw something in here. Oh, Professor Corvette. So guys, all of this I wanted to let you guys know. January 25th, the ZR1 VIN number 1 gets auctioned off. I will be doing a live video again on the 25th. That's a Saturday. So I'll be doing a live video right here where you can watch the entire event unfold. We can talk about it, discuss what we think is going to happen and everything. So if you guys want to do that, you'll be able to see the auction as well as kind of chat it out with me right here on the channel. I'll be going live again on the 25th for that. So you guys are all more than welcome.
How did the poll do? Did we get the poll in there?
It's almost the same as it was last time. Anytime I ask anything about whether you're going ZR1 or Z06, it's almost 50-50. In this case, it's 60-40.
Well, it's swinging a little bit.
Yeah.
Well,
Is the VIN
six
one?
one
Is it the black? Is it the black one with the blue stripe? Or
I think
is it
that's
the,
what they said.
competition
Yeah,
yellow?
but that's just a placeholder.
Well, and yeah, he'll be able to pick what
He'll be
he
able to
wants.
get whatever he
Yeah.
wants. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Hendrick will
okay,
be-
okay.
that's not the actual car. He'll be
No,
able to
yeah.
build what he wants.
Yep. He's been basically on VIN 1.
Well, and I think Jessica
Oh.
was saying in the comments about twin turboing her Z06, and that's an option for you.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get the power
No.
out of that, and that you would. And also, Have you heard of twin turbo Z06? Because we heard them at Carlisle, and it really changes the way
it does.
that LT6 sounds.
And
it really does.
The same way though that the LT7 does. It's like when as soon as you strap turbos on it, you are immediately muffling the sound of that naturally aspirated flat plane crank.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. I thought it still sounded pretty good. Though,
it sounded pretty good, but there was definitely a difference. It wasn't the same.
Honestly, from what I've heard, the Z06 with twin turbos, at least the one I've heard from Boost District.
That was the one we heard, yeah.
That sounded better to me than the LT7. Yep. Yeah. And I don't know if that's because bigger turbos, more, blow off, bypass, whatever it is.
He said he designed it to be louder.
He designed it to be louder.
Yeah, exactly. The piping and everything.
Yeah.
That's
what
that was
what's his name's car, Bandito. That was,
yeah.
Yep. No, it sounded good, but there was definitely a difference. And the problem is you're just not going to get that much power.
Yeah, what was he getting? Like an extra, not even 100 horsepower, I don't think.
Yeah, it was in the 600s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right, so John Perkins says going to be a busy weekend. Rolex 24 and auction and HPO. Well, technically HPO and auction are the same, but definitely tune in here, guys, on the 25th. I'll put up a little clip here so you guys know it's coming later. But I'd love to see you guys on here for sure. New Horizon says some insurance companies you can actually have the solar throttle controller reduced price with the throttle controller or with the throttle kill switch. It's considered a passive theft deterrent. Yeah, so some of your insurance companies, and this is actually, I think I forgot to mention this in my throttle controller video. If you actually enable that option to kill the throttle, which I've shown a couple times on the videos, if you have that option on there with your throttle controller, some insurance companies will pay a passive theft deterrent discount. It's not much. It's like $50 a year or something, but
it's money.
Hey, every little bit counts, especially when you got a lyric on your insurance. So not all of them will do it. Seawolf says that unfortunately his won't. And not only that, not only will some of them not do it, but there is a maximum of discounts that they allow. And sometimes you're already at the max. So adding anything more is just not going to do anything.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this new ZR1 sounds, it does. It sounds amazing, but it's not quite the same. Like if you're coming from a Stingray and going straight into a ZR1, you're going to freaking love it. Right. But if you're coming from a Z06 into the ZR1, you're going to be like, I wish it was a little louder. Something along those lines.
And I think the thing that I would miss the most is that extra 1,500, 2,000 RPM. Because, you don't need it because the turbos are giving you that. But
I'll tell
you, when you're up there, though.
It's not that. It's only 600.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's 8,000. 8,000 RPM is the red line now instead of 8,600.
Okay. I'd still
it doesn't sound like much, but I feel like that last little bit is going to be massive.
It is.
I agree.
It's going to be crazy. Because, I agree. That's where that car. I mean, it continues to get better and better and better as you get up, and it just comes alive.
Yep.
Man. Love that,
guys. If you are liking the chat so far, please smash the thumbs up button. Let's get to 100 here. We've missed our deadline for that already, but let's get to 100 ASAP. I like that. 200 by 8:30 would be cool. Plus, don't forget about the giveaway. Giveaways are here, guys. I'm going to actually hold on to these till the end of the month as well. We're going to do one big giveaway for these and the E5. So there'll be 2 winners at the end of this month. So if you want to get in on it, doesn't look like anybody else has, you can send in the super chat or the Venmo, which is pinned at the top of the chat. So get in on the $500 gift certificate from the E5 Wheels website or the carbon fiber strut tower covers here. Either way you cut it, you're going to be winning something pretty cool. While we're talking about the E5 wheels, let's go over and check out their website because they have some pretty cool wheel offerings here. So me and David were talking about this a second ago. You got your Daytona wheel offerings in the bronze, black, or they like to call that brushed titanium. It's basically silver. But these are the 3 wheel options: Daytona, Sebring, and Speedway. So actually, Speedway are the stock Z06 replicas. Sebring look like the stock C6 ZR1 replicas. Daytona is kind of similar to ours. Yeah, the Sports Light wheels.
Yeah, that's the one I like. I like the Daytona.
Yeah, the Daytonas are really cool looking.
Yeah, and if I win, guys, like I said, I mean, I don't have a thing I'll just give it to somebody on the channel. So, whatever.
Yeah. There we go. So if you guys are interested in the E5 stuff, like I said, every $10 is a donation. Don't think you have to go big with this. A lot of times, $10 will win it.
Or Nate with one.
No, it's $10.
Well, yeah. And Red Seawolf 06, I actually agree with you on the GT350R, the sound of that. met up with a guy. Actually, I found out he lives like 20 minutes from me. Has a full bolt on everything you could do GT350R, and we did some runs with his car, and it sounds really good. So definitely something that I would miss as well. It surprised me how much I
You'll
like
smoke
that.
them though, David.
Oh
You
yeah,
still smoke them pretty easily.
Oh yeah, 100%. But the sound and the way, like, it's not anything. Mustang has never made anything like that. That car is unique, and so I would own a GT350R in a heartbeat because it is that cool. But again, it's not as fast as our car, but God, was it good.
The GT350, not the R, but just the GT350 was really one of the first flat plane crank cars I've driven. And the sound is just like,
it is, man. God.
It was because of that car that I knew I was going to want the C8 Z06.
Well, and when was the last time a Mustang revved to 8,000 or something? It's over.
Well, I mean, just like with the same thing with the C8 Z06.
Crazy,
this is the first time Corvette has ever revved that high.
Yep.
And it's just, it's something totally different is why I think I love the C8 Z06 so much, is that it's just like, it's still a Corvette, but it is just massively different than what we normally get.
Yeah. And again, like, anytime like you start it up, anytime you start your C8 Z06 up, you just smile. You just do, because you're like, God, that is so amazing. Who was it? 10-second Z06 was saying his is always shifting at red line. I do the same thing.
Oh yeah, dude.
I
could be going to the
freaking
freaking I'm going to Walmart and I'm like 8600 shift, 8600.
Or you downshift like 8 times in the Walmart parking lot.
Like, I got to come to a stop. I can't just use the brakes.
Everybody in Walmart's looking at you like, what the hell is this redneck doing?
Yep. Paragon Performance is in the house, everybody. What's up? He says, good
guys?
evening, gents. What have we missed? We're talking right now about the ZR1 being the starting price point of $175,000. Would you take the $175,000 base ZR1 or use that same amount of money to get a fully loaded Z06? And when I say fully loaded, I mean 3LZ, Z07, carbon fiber wheels, all the good stuff. You could have a fully loaded car, the Z06, which is obviously an awesome car, or a base ZR1, which is obviously an awesome car. Which one would you take?
Brandon and I both have 1LZs, and I'm going to tell you, and we did it mostly for weight, but I'm going to tell you right now, if I had to pass on the Habanero 3LZ to get the base instead of ZR1, that would be a kick in the junk that I don't think I would recover.
Well, see, and that's
that makes me hot and sweaty every time.
Every time I talk about getting the ZR1, every time I mention something about it, somebody's like, well, what color would you get? And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, on one hand, I want to go with something different, but on the same hand, it's like black is my go-to. And would I really want to spend $220,000+ on a car in a color that I don't really love?
Yeah, see, and that would be a hard one, but because again, same for me, right? Like everybody knows I want Sebring orange, and I want that habanero interior, man. And I don't know if I would do a base one if I couldn't get it, because I don't regret not getting the 3LZ or whatever else like that. But now that they have the habanero and the Sebring orange is back, I mean, Brandon knows that's all I talk. I'm like Sebring orange, Sebring orange. I'd paint my house Sebring orange if I could get away with it.
You can.
I would copy Corey and get Hysteria purple.
See,
hey,
I was gonna say I saw Hysteria purple.
With habanero.
With habanero, it would look good, dude. It would.
I've been saying since they released those color combinations that was the supercar color combination. Habanero interior with the Hysteria exterior. But I saw like a shorts clip on YouTube of a Hysteria purple ZR1 driving along, and I'm like, man, that looks good. I like that a lot.
The only way I would even consider the Hysteria is if I did the habanero.
Yeah,
that's the only way I would get that car. I wouldn't want it with white or white trim. That's the only way I would get that car, is if it had the habanero. And I would do orange calipers heck yeah, man. I'd go all out.
Yeah.
But you're right though, and the loaded Z06 question. Tell me, Brandon, when we got into those 3LZ cars that Ron Fellas, were you not like, damn?
Yeah, look at what I'm missing.
Like, this is nice.
Before you answer that though, Brandon, the one thing I want to mention is I recently, for some reason, it popped up in my feed a video that I made of my 2020 C8 Stingray. This was probably a couple months before I sold it. And I bought it in red. I bought it in torch red. And I purposely did not get the high wing spoiler. And I remember I was justifying this while I was building the car. I was filming my process here. And I said, I want to get red because I don't want it to blend in with my ZR1. So I want it to stand out from the ZR1. It can't be black. I want to get the low wing spoiler because, again, I don't want this blend in with the ZR1. I don't want it to be a big wing car. after I got the car, I had that car for maybe 2 weeks before I said I should have got black and I should have got a high wing. And it's like, from that point forward, I hated that I went against what I should have got. Like I went against it thinking it would be better to get something that stands out instead of getting what I wanted to get. And that's ultimately, to this day, that's ultimately why I don't still own that car. Because it's just, it was not the car I wanted.
If you get the Stingray, I feel like the high wing spoiler is a must. Like, that makes that car.
Oh, yeah,
I actually
100%.
wish they had a similar spoiler for the Z06, something a little different, but similar to it. I like the 4 mount points. I just like the whole look of it,
Yeah.
the aesthetics of
But
it.
not only
Stingray.
that, but now that you can buy ZR1 type, I think a ZR1 wing on the right Stingray would look freaking awesome too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the high wing is definitely, like you said, because they even had that intermediate wing when it first came out or whatever. Then they had the high wing. You're right. That high wing on the Stingray makes, 100%. But the ZR1 wing would look nice.
Which I don't understand from a mount point perspective, like stability of a wing. Having 4 mount points is obviously superior to 2.
Right.
So unless it's an aero drag thing, why do they go to the 2 mount points? Because you've seen they're not always
It's
smooth. The
probably
wings
just,
aren't.
it's
at-
probably
at
just
speed.
arrow, like you said, that you're only passing arrow over 2 points instead of 4.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
maybe.
So
Well, GM was very big on the 2020 Stingray high wing spoiler when it first was introduced, as they said, and I know I'm going to be questioned about this later, but they said on the high wing that it created no drag, none. And if that's the case, it would probably be because it had 4 posts and they were so skinny. So somehow that was not creating any drag. That's what they said. And I know I'll be questioned about this. I'm going to have to try to find that article because I remember them saying it.
quote your source.
I will do that whenever I find the source. I can't remember what it was.
Hey,
Yeah, but
Justin,
Corey
do
would-
you
oh,
know
go
if
ahead,
that AGM 01 spoiler how close is it to the actual 01 spoiler? The one that was at the bash. Like how close is that spoiler?
It's not.
to the 01?
It's pretty close. It's definitely not identical. The biggest difference is, for some reason, his spoiler goes like this in the back. It goes out and then up, like it flares up at the end, and it shouldn't. It should be completely flat.
Well, I kind of like.
Oh, okay, so that's a big difference. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey's in here from Paramount, but Corey was saying the base versus the loaded Z06, you get the performance, you can add seats, you can change colors, you can, but getting a Z06 to that horsepower level, you can't do it right now. Like there's no tuning. The motor would never take that because it's not built for that.
Even with tuning,
and
that car's
the clutches would just absolutely it disintegrate at the power level. So
even with tuning, the Z06 is never going to hit the ZR1 performance level, nor would you necessarily want it to, because if you get the ZR1 ZTK package full tilt, that car is set up slightly differently. It's going to have a slightly different suspension than the C8 Z06, even with the Z07 package.
Yeah.
And it's because it's going to be built for the track, but to also handle that extra horsepower that's coming at it versus the Z07 that doesn't have that extra
it's
horsepower.
got bigger axles, the bigger clutches, the internals on that. I mean, I did a video. The internals on that LT7 are way stronger because they're not. Go ahead.
That's one thing I was going to talk to you about today, David. If I hadn't bought those clutches like already for my car, I should have waited for ZR1 OEM clutches, because that's probably going to be far superior than the Dodson.
Yep.
It's already made from the factory to handle that power. Like that's the perfect setup for a Z06 if you're going to mod it and like actually do like power adders and stuff for a Z06.
Yeah, and I think that's going
unless
to
there's
be
some structural reason that you can't add them, but I can't imagine there is. It probably bolts right up, I would imagine.
Well, it'd have to, because it's the same case and everything else. Like they're not going to redo a whole case for that. You'd have to, but that was the thing too. Like, because that's where we're at. You're at 1,000 horsepower on that car with a warranty, so those things will handle way more than that. You know what I mean? So that's probably going to end up. What's going to be, honestly, Brandon? That's going to be the swap people are going to start doing. Shops are going to start offering ZR1 clutches. Is what it's going to be.
And it'll be cheaper probably than Dodson, because Dodson wants like for their they've got the 3K one, the 6K one, and then the 10K one. I imagine that's going to fall somewhere in the middle of that for the ZR1. I bet
and you're getting the best clutch that's out there right now. The best clutch pack that's out there right now. So
Silver Reaper donates $20 and says, Justin, I'd rather have your C701 over the C801 or Z06. That baby is fire.
Yeah, too bad it's not in the garage right now.
Yeah.
I wanted to drool over it a little bit, take a pillow out, sleep next to it, curl up with it.
All right, Silver Reaper, I got you in for 2 entries.
Yeah, I like your Grand Sport too, Reaper, man.
Yeah,
your Grand Sport is hot, dude. I love your videos. So
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I disagree with you, Silver Reaper. I love my ZR1. Me and David were actually talking about it earlier, but it's like the C8 is taking it to a different level. Not necessarily a better level, but a different level. And some aspects better, some aspects maybe not, but it is what it is.
Yeah, we were actually talking about the no more manuals thing.
Yeah.
We were talking about, and like, Justin's video of him racing street speed and his ZR1 and street speed ZR1, when Justin's no lift shifting it, when he's just, I mean, dude, that is magic. I mean, I miss that part of it. Now, I love the dual clutch. Don't get me wrong. Performance wise, it's a great thing, but there's just something about banging gears when you're all in it like that, especially that no lift shift. Oh, and that C7 is like the best manual transmission GM ever made.
Yep. I like to hear
you
this.
You should be more proud of your win.
Yep.
If you win the race.
Oh yeah,
shifting,
it's because you're doing
you're
something.
10 times more proud.
Yeah, you're doing something.
Well, and honestly, too, not that, like saying, but Brandon just now we're also talking like how when the 10-speed Mustangs first came out and people were doing like weight reduction bolt-ons with those 10 speeds, they didn't have to work. You just put your foot on it. You had to be worried about those jokers, man. They were quick, and it was like no work involved whatsoever. They just gone.
It's like a cheat code.
Yeah, cheat code.
Paragon says even Turi is being tested on ZR1 on day one, which is awesome.
Snap.
That's literally, as weird as this sounds, stuff like that is actually selling points, because the big thing for me is like I've got my Z06 set up exactly like I want it, and that includes things like the Venturi intake, the Soul Performance Sport Cat, the AWE exhaust. So if I know right off the bat, if I get a ZR1, those things are going to be available for that car too. That helps sway my decision in a certain direction.
Yeah. Yep. And then Corey, so we're gonna do a Venturi versus Corsa shootout soon for their cold air intake dyno and see what the results are on that. So
have you gotten that yet?
We have a line on one that should be coming very soon. So,
okay.
But yeah. And I mean, Corey, you're not the guy to be talking about warranties, bro. Like you've had you got luggage racks and off-road mudding tires and TRX tires on it.
Yeah, TRX.
Corey lost his warranty like on day 3 of ownership.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's documented now, Corey. You're
right.
done, man.
That's right.
You're donezo. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the news here, guys. Again, smash the thumbs up button while we're transitioning here, but we are going to be talking about some news that I do have set up here.
Professor Corvette did the math.
Is that when I'm saying loaded, I'm talking 3LZ, Z07.
Like that's everything. Like front lift, all the.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things you can check that don't really apply, like all weather floor mats and stuff. I'm not sure if you guys are putting that kind of stuff on there or not, but James, I will not be there this weekend. I will, however, be there for the Pittsburgh International Auto Show in February. My car will be there with blackout tinting.
So, I'll have to look that up.
February 20th. Yeah, you should come up. That'd be pretty cool. Airbox itself is the same from ZR1 to Z06. I did not know that. From talking with Josh at GM, the inlet pipes are different, but that's an easy fix. Okay.
Nice.
You might, if that's the case, you might not even have to really redesign much.
I guess it would just be dependent on because you're going to pull so much more air. I don't know.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know again if
might have to make the whole thing bigger.
Or but. All
right, so let's talk a little bit about the news here, guys. One of the things that I thought was kind of funny, me and David were talking about this before we got on here, because it's kind of funny, but it's good, but it's funny, and that is. Over at the Mid-Engine Corvette blogger, they talk about how the FTC just banned General Motors and OnStar from being able to sell your driving data for 5 years. So for 5 years, they are banned from selling your personal information. Now, why this is funny is, why is it only 5 years?
Right.
Yeah.
It's because today's inauguration day.
Yeah.
That's why they're hedging their bets.
Man, I'll tell you what.
Tax is coming 5 years from now.
Yeah, new tax.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say, actually, I don't know any better, so maybe that is the case. But either way,
go faster than 90 miles an hour tax.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a step in the right direction, but at the same time, this should be way more permanent than 5 years. Like, even if they gave us 20 years, even then I'd understand a little bit more. But it's like, why even put a time frame? Why not just ban it? Well, like, you're selling personal information.
If you were to take that personal information, if I took that personal information from you,
yeah,
it's identity theft.
Exactly.
All it doesn't gives it to
Yeah, it's
How
fine.
identity theft.
It's a slap on the wrist. You can't do it again for 5 years.
Yep. Well, they said they were stopping to sell your data.
Yeah.
But everybody got busted for doing it.
I love the use of the thinking face here.
Yeah.
Professor Corvette, you might be the best emoji user in the chat because he finds a way to incorporate these things that it's like, I thought GM already did that. Like,
right. When somebody asked,
He's probably a master texter. I bet he's just
I
has
bet he's
like
the best, yeah.
most inquisitive text threads.
either that or he has like one of those Stephen Hawking things where like he just can do it with his eyes while he's watching stuff. Somebody said about the quarter times for the difference in the 0 and Z. It's a full second and a lot of mile an hour, guys. Like the quarter mile times are no joke. It's a full second and it is
20 miles an hour, right?
Way more mile an hour.
Yeah.
130 to
They,
150 is a huge difference.
It's huge.
Did you see where they did time segments, David, on the acceleration for the 0-1 and the 60 to 130 came out to like 4.5 seconds?
4.5 seconds
Oh, wow.
from the
Like a
factory.
4.5, like it's supposed
Yeah.
to be plaid fast,
See,
faster than a plaid. 60
60 on
And
is
that's
where
what-
that car is
And
going to
that's what
really
you and I
shine.
were talking about originally. Like these performance times are mind-boggling, but this car's not going to come into its own until it's moving.
Yeah.
And once it's moving,
That's what I mean.
It is gone.
It's 60 and on, not even necessarily just the 130 or one. 60 and up. That thing is going to move.
Yep.
And it's only going to be
I bet
limited
even at
from
60
0 to
it's
60
pulling
because
power.
of traction.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. That's
Um,
crazy.
Brad says next week is one year anniversary for our Ron Phillips trip. Man, it feels like it was yesterday. Time isn't real. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
not
a
real.
construct.
It's a construct. Yeah, there it is. 9.6.
That's what I'm saying, guys. That's a full second and 20 miles an hour more.
Yeah.
That's no joke. Anybody who drag races in here knows a full second and 20 miles an hour on your trap speed.
It's a lifetime, might as well be.
Yeah, may as well be. That's a whole other class.
All right, so we got the ban on the OnStar selling your data and
5
stuff
years.
for 5 years. Don't expect them to hold it for any longer than 5. It's
No.
burning a hole in their pocket.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
There it is again. Professor Corvette says GM didn't say what they'll do
Oh,
with
see?
your data.
Pro. Absolute pro.
Very, very good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, what will they do with it after 5 years? So for all
They'll
you
probably
know,
collect it for 5 years.
yeah, and then sell it after that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for all you know, they're going to just sell it after 5 years. God, what a freaking loophole.
Yeah.
So next tier, guys, is of course what we've been talking about all night, and that is the base C8 ZR1 is priced like a loaded Z06. Which would you buy? Curiosity has the best of me here. I'm going to see. One of the auctions is 2 Stingrays. Nice. I like it. I'm going to say a fully loaded Z06. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so the majority says the base ZR1, 49% and 31%. So probably not too dissimilar from where we're at here.
That still, though, speaks such volumes on how they bring in this car to market at 175 grand.
I know.
You know, like when you think about it, that they can bring this car.
So here's the other thing, though, and we talked a lot about this whenever we were talking about the Z06 initially. How many of you that voted ZR1 in this situation are really even going to get a ZR1? I know this guy, he's too crazy not to, but how many of you realistically are going to get a ZR1?
I've
And
only got to buy her for my kidney.
for both of them. I made
Justin,
that.
did you not decide you're going to get one, or would you make a decision?
Um,
The price
yep.
release?
My decision is based solely on how much I can sell my Z06 for. If I can get a decent price for that, where it makes sense financially, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I think, Brian, I think you have a good point, man. Like, ADMs are always going to be a thing at a lot of dealers, but they're going to have to be careful because you start ADing and pushing this into Porsche territory.
Yeah, you're going to lose them.
This is the same shoppers now, guys,
Yeah.
that are shopping the Porsche 911s that are shopping
A lot of them the
the
same. Yeah, a lot of them are the same with the
guys.
Z06.
So you got to be careful.
But those
because
guys
they-
want the new car, though. That's the thing. They want
Right.
what's new
That's true.
and cool. And the ZR1 is that car. So I still think
You're right.
even if they do push it in that realm, unless there's some new Porsche that comes out that's just, very
Well,
competitive, I still think they're going ZR1.
You're right to an
Even at
extent,
the
but
same
I know whenever the Z06 was first in this same kind of weird place where it was hard to get and it was first coming out and like nobody could touch it for a while, I know personally a lot of my subscribers commented and said, "I'm done, I'm out," and they went and they came back later and told me they bought a Porsche or they bought a Ferrari or they bought whatever it is that was somewhat similar in price, similar in performance. A lot of them jumped ship because it wasn't even just so much that they wanted the new thing or that the price was right. They were tired of the games.
Right.
Like there's just
Yeah.
the runaround and the game playing and the price gouging. It
Although
gets old.
I have to say, depending on what Porsche you buy, you're going to do the same thing. Like you
Yeah.
go get a GT3 RS and
You're
tell
right.
me they're not playing games.
You're right.
Like,
And that's the thing. Is the new GT3 RS is going
Yep.
to cost you $200,000 over.
Yep.
Like it still is.
Well-
It's still fetching that.
If the dealer experience doesn't change from what it is right now with the Z06, they're going to be dumping those ZR1s. Those guys are not going to be okay with pulling up to a dealer and the tech's messing up their oil change
Yeah.
and not using both
Yeah.
plugs.
Well-
Like that is not going to fly.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's a great thing though. Like it shouldn't fly.
right.
If you let people,
No.
if you let the dealership get away with that, especially with a Porsche or something you spent $400,000 on.
Right.
Got the cat back there.
Is that the nibble biter, Brandon?
Good God.
That's a fat one. That's my fat
Oh.
cat.
I was gonna say I don't even want to know the answer to that, but
Oh, it's a little one? Oh, never
No,
mind. That's not my
I
fat
was
one.
staying at his house. He was like, "Oh, I got a new kitten. Be careful, it likes to bite your nipples." I was like, "What the hell?"
I said I didn't want to know about that.
No, I had to tell you that.
I
That
kind of
sounded
figured that's what
weird.
it was.
It sounded weird for saying it. I had to explain it now.
Well, no, it's now it's just weirder. Like, you made it weird. All right, so Mark Surge says, what's the minimum amount you would want for your Z06, or should that be kept for only those willing to buy privately? I would. I mean, I'm not going to get what I want for it trading it in because I would sell it as it is with all the mods on it. So the mods themselves are worth about $60,000. So I would say
Even your wheels?
yeah, everything goes with it. So I would say 150 would be my absolute bottom line for that car. Ideally, I'd like probably a little bit more than that, like 155, but 150 would be the bottom line because
I think that's a deal for
that's
your
a
car.
deal for-
that's
honestly.
basically paying 90
Because
grand for the
of
car
the
and 60
stance.
for the
As it sits, that's a great deal.
Mhm.
Plus,
I just don't know that I've
autograph
seen
it.
many that have that like
All
look
over.
to it as far as your car does. It has that special stance.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It's clean. Everything kind of jives together. It's not kind of mismatched at all. I mean, I think it's well worth it. I don't think you'll have any
At
problem
that,
getting
heck
one.
yeah, man.
Honestly,
Heck yeah.
all right. So Brandon, I can count you in. You're gonna take it.
I mean, if I didn't already have one, I
Yeah.
would spend. If I had 150 and I hadn't bought mine, I would absolutely go for yours.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Well, that's it.
My
So
problem
guys,
is I can't sell mine.
if you
That's the problem.
if you want to try to grab it from me, let me know. Shoot me an email, horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com. If I sell that for 150, I would be in the market for a ZR1.
Very nice.
But in the meantime, guys, smash the thumbs up button. We got 150-ish people in here watching, and our thumbs ups are not matching that. And that does not make us happy.
Thumbs up, guys.
Look at that weird thumb on the left side.
I told you, you never not see it. now.
I know, right?
Yep. Base model Brandon is like that.
Base model Brandon, nice. How many miles is just a little over 9,000.
No, but we talked about this too at dinner. Like your car just has that look. It's
Yeah, yeah.
It's Z06
Yeah.
plus.
Which is why, like, honestly, if I couldn't get what I want for it and I don't get a ZR1, I am not going to cry myself to sleep. I love that Z06. I would be plenty fine keeping it.
Yep.
So either way this thing goes, I am absolutely fine
Says
with
the guy who already has a Z06.
Right? Do I need two?
Yes, yes.
I mean, for the right price, yes, I do.
ZR1 obsessed.
Yeah, I guess I could do that. So here's another weird thing, and I guess for the most part, this is probably some of your first times getting this kid back there.
Damn, she loves being on camera.
The Corvette owner's manual is no longer coming with the car. So that big thick manual you get usually in your glove box, you're not going to be getting that anymore. You're going to instead be getting a way of going online and printing it yourself. Now, this kind of stuff to me is getting a little bit out of hand,
I
okay?
don't like it.
So you buy a new iPhone, it doesn't come with a charging brick anymore. Like it's like everything is just filtering down the line to make it seem like this is normal. We're doing this to save the trees. No, you're not. You're doing this to save the money. So no owner's manual in the car anymore. You got to go online and print it out if you want one. Not that I've looked in mine maybe once in my entire life of ever owning a car, once or twice opening up a manual. Now you have to get it online. And
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I like the manual.
I do. There's something about
There's
it.
something
Like,
about it.
and I mean, you could go online and print it out digitally. Who wants to print out like 400 pages worth of like? This just doesn't make any sense. And it's always a price thing. It's always they're not going to lower the price of the car. But the thing that really gets me is I know a bunch of you out there are going to say, "Well, no, Justin, it's not necessarily about the price." It most certainly is.
Yeah, it is.
You scroll down to the bottom here, and you can find out that you can buy it. You can still buy it. It doesn't come with the car for free anymore. Now you got to pay $86.30.
Right.
So
After dropping 150 plus.
exactly. I mean, imagine you just bought a brand new ZR1. You bought 220
Right.
grand plus tax, and now you got to spend another $100 to get the
Exactly.
freaking
Well,
owner's
and most
manual.
of us in this community here in this channel, we're the same, right? Like when I got rid of my '97 F-150 to buy my new truck, I still had the window sticker.
Yeah,
Why? Because that's what we do.
that's what we do.
Like we want the manual. We want those things. We want to keep the window sticker. We want those things.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. I don't know that I've ever even looked in mine.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was like, have anybody actually looked in a minute? I haven't looked at mine.
I-
You looked at yours,
I
David?
will say I opened it once when because, and then just closed it. But I never actually read it. I just wanted. To
I
see
opened
if
it
was
just-
cool or fancy or heavier. Paper.
I opened it up just to make sure that there was actually words printed in there, and then closed it up.
Yeah, I wanted to see if it was something.
I don't think I've ever
special.
looked in an actual owner's manual ever in my life.
It's
I opened this one just because I wanted to see if there was anything special, and it wasn't. But oh well.
See, here's the thing. We're allowed to be mad about dumb stuff, and this is possibly is one of those dumb things. I don't necessarily need the manual. I've never looked in the manual on my Z06. You haven't either, Brandon. But something in me gets angered when I know I'm not getting every single thing I paid for, and you're
Now-
not reducing the price. Like if they
is a good
instead
point.
they put the price, 150 whatever, and underneath it said minus 100, no owner's manual. Cool, I'm down. I'll take that $100 discount every day. But they're not doing that. They're still charging you top dollar and cutting the manual out.
Well,
What's next? Next, the wheels are gone.
You got to pay for the air.
You got to pay for the air.
10 seconds, Z06,
Well-
I'm with you, man. I opened it just to skim through. I thought maybe it was going to be like, leather or Alcantara or something. It's not, but I just opened it, skimmed through it, put it back there. But I want it. I want it in the car. I want it because I paid for it.
Wheeler O'Hara
Yeah,
says he loves how Brandon is getting photo/video bombed by his daughter.
Yep.
Yeah.
She,
Well,
she
I've been
loves
trying
to
to
be
get
on
her to
camera.
not
She
do
looks
it. She's
cute,
not
man.
listening.
She's adorable.
I was gonna say it's all right. It's adding to the.
The wife's
Well,
not home, so
Well, the best part is if you've ever watched Brandon's videos, the one encouraging him to go faster is Charlie from the back seat. You're in trouble when she starts driving, bro.
or the one where
Yeah,
he's
I know.
riding his lift up.
Yeah, exactly.
You can also access it in the car's infotainment center. I wouldn't even know that because I would never go looking for it.
Subscription to use the heated seats.
Well, yeah, BMW does that already. So yeah, the subscription for the heated seats, subscription for the air conditioned seats or cooled seats. We're not far from the fact that they're going to start charging subscriptions for all that stuff. And this is a slippery slope.
Right.
If we let them get away with taking the manuals out, even though it doesn't sound like a big deal, nobody really cares. It's a manual, no one looks at it. Blah blah blah. This is just the start. They're like, let's see if we can take that away next.
And Tesla with their subscription service for like the self-drive and all that stuff, they started a lot of
Yeah.
the stuff that's going to end up being something that you're going to have to pay for. So, but,
Didn't you kind of judge guys whether they still had their manuals with the car? Like if you had a C4 or ZR1
Yeah.
and you didn't have the little lunchbox with it that had the manual and all the other
Yeah,
stuff, wouldn't
exactly.
you kind of judge that
just
person
like okay,
that they didn't love their car enough because it doesn't have the
Exactly.
manual still?
just like the demon crate. Would you want a demon without the crate?
Oh yeah,
Brandon?
exactly.
You paid
Exactly.
$100.
Oh, yeah,
no, hell no, you don't. You
That
want
is
the
a big
demon
deal.
crate.
Yep.
That is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, which was it the C4 that came with a VHS tape?
I think so. I think was it called a pizza box? Which one had the pizza box? I thought it was the C4.
The C4 had
it-
the pizza box. 'cause
It had
was
to
like
be.
the little lunchbox.
Yeah, it had to be the C4. There was literally it was a
I think it
VHS tape
was.
that you put in your VCR,
Yeah, that's what that
and
We've forgotten what
I
BCRs
know.
are.
I was gonna say I was alive during this period, so I don't know why it's slipping my mind. But yeah, you put it in a VCR, you play it, and it was like an actual person going through your owner's manual kind of thing, like little tips and tricks in your car. And there was one like that for like the Dodge Neon. I saw on YouTube the other day. Somebody uploaded it. There was literally like an interactive person standing there talking to you about your Dodge Neon.
C401. Yeah.
Like
He's like, I have the tape. I told you it was the pizza box for the C401.
that's what it was. It was a ZR1. Yeah.
Yep.
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 That's it blows my mind. Like we at one point we were at that point where you buy this car and at the time you're getting a cutting edge VHS tape. You're getting all this cool stuff. And now we're at a point where you're spending 250 grand on a Corvette and they're taking your owner's manual out.
Right.
Like it's like we're reverting. This
Yeah.
we should be getting cooler stuff, not getting stuff taken away. I mean, I'm really curious what they're going to do with this. So I think this is one of the coolest things. You guys have one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
These little speed shapes. This is for my Z06. I think this is one of the coolest things. This is to me way cooler than a VHS tape. But what are they going to do with the ZR1? Like, this is just freaking awesome.
And the book that they sent you with this it was
Yeah,
well,
leather.
yours was black, but
Yeah.
but it was also like your car color. Like if
Yep,
you had
through
like,
shining through the Z06 part. Yeah.
through the Z06 part, which is, I thought was cool. I would agree with you on that. When I got it, I completely forgot that was even a thing.
Yep.
And I opened it up. I was like, man, this is cool.
You can't tell whenever I show that on the camera, but that thing weighs probably
it's
five
heavy.
pounds.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Like, it feels quality, and I bet you if you open it up, it's probably got like cement on the inside of that base because they want it to feel heavy. But
Do you
regardless,
still have your Justin? Do you still have your Stingray one? The one for the Stingray?
yeah, it's up on the wall up there.
So isn't it like a lot less quality? Like I looked
Yes.
at one today for a Stingray, and it looked like
It
was
weighs
10 years older.
It weighs next to nothing. The base is like this thick, whereas the one I just showed you is
Really
super thick.
Yeah.
They do it in a way that you know you got a better quality, higher, more expensive car. But if that's the case, what are they going to do with the ZR1? Like, is that thing going to be made out of 14 karat gold? Like, yeah, it's going to have to be like 4 times the size and weigh
massive.
300 pounds.
You know what I want? I want an RC car. I want a little tiny
That'd be
Zero One
pretty
RC car if I were buying a Zero One. That's what I would want.
That would be
or even this. This would be really cool too. Like Larry Anthony, if he's still in here, he actually got this for me. This is a literally a die cast, the wheel spin and everything. Literally a replica of my car. It is identical to my car in every way, shape, and form.
Wait, does it have a painted intake manifold?
That's cool.
No. We'll have to
I'm
get
gonna
that.
get out
You
But
have to put it together, or is
imagine-
that came assembled.
No, this is just a die cut. It came this way. But like you
Okay.
can't really tell, but if you look on the interior, like you could see like the red
Yeah.
center line on the wheel and stuff, like it's got competition seats. It's just like if they sent you this, only it was an actual replica of your ZR1 with
That would
like
be cool.
doors that could open and stuff, and it had all your options on it. That would be freaking amazing.
Yeah, I like that.
That would
That's
be
even
awesome.
better. I like that.
Yeah, the RC car is a good idea too.
The RC car is definitely a good idea.
Yep.
I mean, give me something. You're taking away my freaking owner's manual. Give me something. You
Yep.
know? All right, guys, we got 118 thumbs ups. Let's keep going with the thumbs ups. I think I got one more piece of news. Yeah, we do. This is an interesting one, actually.
Yeah, I thought that was a good one too.
The Corvette Owner School, Ron Fellows, Spring Mountain fills its first class with the Corvette E-Ray. So this was something I was actually starting to think was not going to come.
Well, we knew they were going to do because they had E-Rays when we were there. They
Oh,
were
did
starting
they?
to get them. Yeah, when Brandon and I went. When did we go, Brandon? October?
Yeah, was it October? Yeah.
No,
something like
it
that.
had to be before our delivery. September. We went in September, and they said that they were starting to get E-Rays delivered because we asked. So they were starting to get them then. So we knew it wasn't going to be too long. So
Did
All
you hear
right.
how fast they sold out of the E-Ray classes, Justin?
How fast, Brandon?
3 minutes.
Corey
3
said
minutes,
one.
all the classes were booked.
So this is going to be a controversial topic. It's
No,
going to be
I bet
controversial.
I'm going to agree with you because I think I know
3
what you're
minutes.
gonna say.
It
You were
doesn't.
4
It
minutes
doesn't.
late.
It doesn't make
Done.
any sense. This is not a track car. GM is flat out said the E-Ray is not a track car. Why are we putting it on the track? Like you have the C8 Stingray with the Z51 package, bam, track car. You got the Z06, bam, they told you it's a track car. The E-Ray was specifically sold as not a track car. Why are we putting
Well,
it on the track?
I will have a counterpoint to that. The driver, remember, David, when we were there, the drivers were saying on the E-Ray, their times at that time they were just getting used to the car.
Yeah.
But their times are spot on with the Z. Were they not? Isn't that what they said?
I
They,
was-
they
I
weren't
was
quite
just gonna tell you,
better.
'cause I knew you
They
were
were
gonna say-
close. They're within
yeah.
a second or two.
They said they
and
were
they were
within
still
a
figuring
second,
the car out.
and they had just they were still figuring the car out with these guys, but they said they were within a second of the Z.
Okay,
on the-
I'm not doubting that, but what I am doubting and not understanding is why are we putting a car that is specifically built as not a track car on the
we can
track?
charge money for it, man. That's exactly why.
All right,
So in
best
three-
answer goes to
3
David.
minutes, they sold all of them. So that's why they're doing it.
So that's interesting. They sold out that quick because there's not even that many E-Rays out there right now.
Well, they only had 6 spots per class, is what I was read.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Yeah, because
accurate
that
is.
was
So-
how many E-Rays.
So
they said
there
they
weren't a
had.
lot to really give, but they were all
okay.
gone.
Okay.
Yeah, because they said they had 6 E-Rays. But
There-
no,
Nate,
Yeah,
Nate,
six.
I knew you were going to be the first one to bring it up, Nate. I do not have an issue with the E-Ray. I have an issue with the way people are using the E-Ray because it was specifically sold as not a track car. GM literally, the E-Ray exists literally for the people who did not want the harshness of the Z06 on the road.
well, you know, and I honestly think it'd be just more work because to really get the max out, you have to go into the charging mode, right, to charge the battery through the laps. I was so freaking preoccupied
with
right foot, left foot, 10 and 2 that I don't know that I could have reliably charged that thing. I was so occupied with just like focused. It was so much.
So before we go further with this, I knew this question was going to come up. Who asked this now? I think Seawolf and Wheeler wanted to know where I got the diecast car. It's called a company called Top Speed. If you look for Top Speed diecast C8 Z06, you'll find it. Just so you know, that's what it is. Top Speed C8 Corvette Z06.
Yeah, but you were right, Brandon. They did tell us that they were still working on those, or like not working, but figuring them out or learning them, and they were within a second of the Z times already. So, and again, it's
I
not
will have
a
to say one
full-out
other thing
track
too.
car where you're only going 130 on that straight, basically.
Yeah.
So it's not that you're legging it out, but still.
Okay, so Wheeler O'Haro, I have to know before you ask this, Brandon. He says, I'm literally laughing out loud on Justin having to disclaim he doesn't hate the E-Ray after you called him out again. Wheeler, why don't you have an E-Ray? Why did you get a Z06? Tell me, out of the two cars there, tell me why you got a Z06 instead of an E-Ray.
Steven in the comments has both. Ask him which one he likes the best. He's already said it. He's got both cars, experience with both.
Brandon.
I'm just saying. Look,
Look at his E-Ray. Of course he's going to say that. His E-Ray is the better car in this situation. He's got 300 grand into the damn thing.
He's also got I think his Z07 and his Z06 and Z07. I'm pretty sure.
But he's got the white anniversary.
The E-Ray is modded out. Like if we're talking about a modded E-Ray, my opinion is going to change here.
I think he's talking about stock for stock. We'll have him answer. I think he's talking about stock for stock though. Wait, Steven,
all right, so Wheeler O'Haro says
stock?
9K RPM red line is why.
That's about where I shift mine.
That's a good reason. But here's the thing. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like I always have to justify this. I'm not sure why, but I've driven a Z06, obviously. I've driven an E-Ray. I prefer the Z06 by far. And I'm not saying the E-Ray is a bad car. I'm just saying use them for what they're built for. The Z06 is built for the track, for your tight turns. You're screaming LT6, 8,600 RPM. Great. That's for the track. The E-Ray is for your colder northern states where you're going to drive the car. You want the wide body look. You want to drive the car year round. You want the better grip for drag strip use, whatever the case may be. It has its purposes. If you're buying the car, an E-Ray, to use on the track, I feel like that is the wrong decision. You are deciding on the wrong car to use it on the track.
I'll say that.
I'll agree with the track part. Yeah, if it's only track purpose. Then
track purpose, yes. But I will say that if I could take Nate's E-Ray and on my phone record my car and play it in earbuds while I'm driving and hear the LT6 while I'm driving Nate's E-Ray, because that's the sound that I love the best. But driving Nate's E-Ray,
that's weird you say that, because like I like the LT6 sound, but at the same time I like the E-Ray battery sound. I think that those two combined would be pretty cool.
No, and honestly, like, yes, if you're going to track every day and that's all you want to do, and the Z06 feels tighter, like it's wound tighter. It kind of feels like it's just wound a little tighter. But if I was going to drive something every day, I would put in earbuds and listen to my Z06 while I drove Nate's E-Ray around.
Chopper Larry said that the E-Ray is for old people.
Nate's not old.
Maybe Nate is an old soul.
Nate's E-Ray is sexy. I don't care what anybody says, man.
Nate, are you an old soul, or is Chopper Larry wrong?
Brandon, is Nate's E-Ray not? That's a bad month.
Dude, I drove it too.
Is. Oh yeah, that's right.
I've driven a couple of E-Rays. The E-Ray is not a bad car. Nate's E-Ray is a cool car. He's got a freaking spec exactly like my Z06. How could I say it's not?
But that's the thing. I think is like that's an everyday driver, no matter whether it's down in Atlanta or up north, or whatever. The E-Ray is really hard to beat.
Nate, I will agree with you there. It's more of a track car than the base C8.
Oh,
yeah, but if you get the C8 Z51, that car, and actually David was the first one to tell me about this, that car does better on the track than the E-Ray does. The C8 Z51.
I think it was the Lightning Lap. The Z51 car was a little bit quicker on the straight.
And it's because
the battery cuts out.
The battery cuts out, and then you're just throwing around an extra 400 pounds for no reason. So
What about autocross? Which do you think wins in autocross?
I bet the C8, the Z51 again, because that wins in autocross even over the Z06 because
Yeah,
of the extra weight.
Yeah, the Z51 cars are actually quicker.
Yeah. You
the
can't
autocross.
there's not enough speed buildup to
Right.
make it worthwhile for the Z06 or E-Ray in that
You've got
situation
all
because
the
you're adding
torque.
weight
But
regardless.
what about the Z06 or the E-Ray? Which one wins in autocross?
That's a tough one because you got you
Because
got
the
instant
acceleration, you
battery
do
and
get a
all-wheel
little bit of
drive.
acceleration usually. A lot of tracks.
Yeah, but
That's a great question. I would have to see that because I could see the better launch,
and you've got all-wheel drive. And
but you're also throwing around 400 more pounds
Yeah, trying to do tight turns.
through tight
But
turns.
it's not going to spin because you can
Yeah.
kick the rear end around on the Z. I don't
That's
know.
it, Nate. We need to autocross.
See,
Really
kicking
like
that
the
rear
front.
end in the Z though is a good thing for those tight turns in autocross. Like you can kick the rear end out and get a nicer turn. So we should find out the answer to that.
That's what I said. I just said, hey, you and me,
We
buddy,
got
let's take
Corey,
it.
we got Nate,
Yep.
we got me, you, and David.
Let's
there
do
we
it.
go. There's
Let's do it.
competition.
There's the only way that this makes sense is if the same person drives both cars. So, Brandon gets in the Z06,
Right.
does
That's
a
what I'm
lap, and
saying.
then
Let's
does the
take
next
our
one
car-
with the
yeah.
E-Ray.
Let's take our cars and yep.
Supercharged E-Ray says his 820 horsepower E-Ray is very quick on the street. Stuff happens fast. I do not doubt that for a second.
Yeah,
I rode in that car. That thing is an absolute ridiculous monster. And like I said, if we're talking your modified E-Ray versus a Z06, none of what I'm saying applies anymore. So I just want to make that clear. Like
Well,
I'm talking
I'll
stock
say,
for
man,
stock.
We've put it on YouTube a couple of times where Brandon and I both raced Nate, and I'm going to tell you guys, until you get up there, stock for stock, you better watch it if you pull up next to an E-Ray because he is faster, as fast if not faster, depending on what mile an hour we start at. Don't sleep on them, guys. Those things are fast.
And definitely don't sleep on Steven. You might as well just forget about it.
I'm not even racing.
You're
Steven.
not
That's
even-
a waste of gas.
It doesn't
dude.
matter if you're sleeping or if you're fully awake. you're done.
unless you're in your car on the spray with the E85, then you can race.
Or
it.
no, actually, unless you're in boost districts,
That's
they're
true.
twin
There you
turbo.
go.
That's probably the only car.
Yep.
They're E-Ray.
Yep. Who said Seawolf said E-Ray won the autocross at Rick Connie's? I mean, that's more driver, but if you put the same driver in it and run the same time or same driver and get times, I think that's what, because if we all went, me, Nate, Brandon, Justin, whoever, we all went and just had the same person drive a Z06 and an E-Ray, see what your times would be.
Yeah.
I mean, they may not be that different, but who knows? If one car is significantly better, you'll see it in the times.
What's up, Bailey? So like I said earlier, the only way that any of this would be an actual answer would be the same person driving both cars.
Right.
Because if I drive one car and then David drives the other car and one of us have a better time, it's very possible the driver is different.
Yeah. So you'd have to have
drive.
Yep.
Yeah. But even then, even if there is a difference, if the Z06 is faster or the E-Ray is faster, neither one of them are going to be faster by much in that situation because that's such a tight area. You're not flexing the horsepower. You're not really flexing the torque. You're in that situation, you're flexing how well you can get around the turns, which technically the Z06 should do better. But at the same time, you got the E-Ray all-wheel drive. So it's almost a toss-up.
Oh, I agree with you, Bill. It's a big smile, man. My review video, I mean, that's why I drive my car. Just woo, woo, all the time. Yep.
All I hear is excuses.
Hey, Nate, I love your car. I give you props all the time. I told you I wouldn't even sell it.
Why do you keep saying it like that? I don't dislike his car. I like his car. His car is spec just like mine. If I had an E-Ray, it would look almost just like Nate's.
Hey, look, Nate, you beat me. I put that shit on YouTube, man. I ain't got no excuses. I have no excuses, man. Your car is fast. And I just I honestly believe where we're at in the current CA lineup, depending on what you want or how much money you
Dude, there's so many options.
You can't lose.
Yeah,
dude.
you can't.
You get a Z51.
They're literally with the E-Ray in the lineup, and this is again, just like I've always said, the E-Ray has its place, and with it being in the lineup the way it is now, there is literally a car in the C8 lineup for anyone. It doesn't matter what your skill level is, what your expectation of horsepower is, or even where you live. It doesn't matter. You have a car that will fit your needs.
And they all perform way above their price.
Yeah.
All of them. From the base to the Z51 to the Z06 to all of them, the E-Ray, they perform way above their price point. And Jeremy, go ahead.
That's weird. I didn't.
We know Jeremy's opinion on this.
I know. I know. I was about to tell Jeremy some good news actually.
Yeah, no, that is
Even-
actually 100% true, Jeremy, and that's honestly the feel, the way you feel when you drive the car. That to me, there's nobody here, even the guys that are all about the E-Ray. No one is going to deny that the feel you get from the Z06 is probably the better feeling, just because of that engine. Yeah,
experience. No, I'm with you on that.
yeah.
Okay. Let's ask Nate. I think he actually will
I think
stand
Nate
by
agrees
that.
with you
Let's
on
ask
that.
Nate what he really truly feels like is the best experience, because he's been in both, and I suspect that Nate's going to say he agrees with what you just said, Justin. Let's see what Nate has to say.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know he will. He said it before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to know about this though from Wheeler. He says he talked to Dean at Sliplow about cheapo Amazon knockoffs like Quilu. Don't be fooled; their adhesive doesn't last. You don't get 8 pieces. Get the OG. Wheeler, if you're still in here, what were you referring to there? I'm curious. I haven't heard anything about a knockoff Sliplow product. World's first.
I told him how much that bothered me.
I hate that. And I don't care if you say it, but when you put it in the freaking YouTube title, you are not the world's first anything.
Oh, yes. You're right.
Nate,
the Z06 is gonna go.
Nate, I gotta tell you, man, you keep going down this road, you're never gonna win something again.
Yeah. No, he is just like how Brandon and I really appreciate the E-Ray. I mean, he knows the experiences.
What do you mean, Brandon and I? I'm gonna kill you. I swear to God. I love the C8 lineup. I don't care what car you're talking about.
It's just a running gag now.
I was gonna say,
I'm making
you
your shirt.
guys both know, Brandon and David, you both
Yep.
know. I almost bought an E-Ray.
Yep.
I literally almost bought an
Yep.
E-Ray.
Yeah. No, it's just a running.
I'm gonna
gag
make you a
now.
shirt, and I'm gonna bring it to the basket and say, "I hate E-Rays," and you're gonna have to wear it.
Okay.
Actually, you should put "I don't hate E-Rays."
Yeah,
'Cause
big-
that's what
big-
he's always
big
saying is,
capital-
On the
"I
back,
don't-
I'll say
Big
don't.
capital
I'll put
D.
don't on the back.
Don't." Yeah, exactly.
So even Steven says, that the Z06 engine will go down in history, not the E-Ray. I
agree.
agree with that.
I agree.
Just like I said with the Z06 in general, the Z06 always has that engine that everybody seems to prefer generation over
Yeah,
generation.
no, it's exactly how it always ends up. Yep.
Oh, okay. So Sliplow doesn't ship to Canada on Amazon. Okay.
Rod says I'm within reach today.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're with. Watch it.
No, he knows.
Well,
it.
no,
He knows it's just a running gag because we always like when we're offline. It's always like I don't know why Nate just thinks I hate on E-Ray.
Yeah, exactly. Like, tell Nate I don't hate E-Ray. Like, because he comes across like I don't know if you really believe it or not,
He
Nate.
doesn't.
I was gonna
It's
say.
also his running
I was gonna say.
gag.
Hopefully it's a gag because I really don't. I don't hate the E-Ray. Like, I mean, I did my best to get in Steven's car at the
Look.
bash. Like, I wanted to ride in that freaking thing.
Nate has to have your face on it and say "World's first."
Or Chopper Larry says, "I hate E-Rays in Metallica script."
That's awesome.
We should work on a shirt
I
like
mean,
that.
there
Has my face on it. It says, "I hate E-Rays," or "I don't hate E-Rays" with "don't" in all capital letters.
Right. That would be funny. I'd like that.
All right, let's rephrase it. If we ranked us based on how much you love E-Rays, I would definitely, of the three of us, be number one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then it would be David,
Yeah.
and then it would be
Yeah.
Justin.
Totally agree.
You don't hate them, but you don't love them as much as the rest of us. We'll
Yeah.
just, how about that? Is that fair?
That is fair.
Well, and I'm even like with
Okay.
now my truck's a hybrid. Like I again I've gotten more into this, but I've gotten to experience having Nate come over and be like,
John Perkins sums it up perfectly.
What does he say?
You just don't like it.
There you go. Don't hate it.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I think honestly, I think it's perfect that GM has that in their lineup. I really do. I think
Yeah.
every buyer now has a car to buy. That car is not for me. I would say I feel the same about that E-Ray as I do the new Ram RHO. How about that? I have a TRX which has almost 200 more horsepower, or I could have got the Ram RHO with less horsepower and otherwise looks the same.
Less sound too.
Less sound
I mean,
too, yeah.
lots
Well,
less
and
sound.
that, you're talking about the E-Ray to me. It has less sound in my opinion than the Z06. So it is basically the same kind of thing. I don't hate the RHO, but I'm not going to own it.
No,
Yeah. So
unless there's no other option. If we run out of options, I mean, at some point we probably will.
at some point we are.
You
you're
saw
right.
where the Stellantis brought back their CEO from that did the Hellcat. He's back now, so maybe
Yeah.
that's going to change everything.
A lot of people
Maybe
think that TRX is coming back because
Well, they're
of
gonna
that.
have to. It was the
I
only
hope
way they
so.
sold cars and trucks.
Yeah.
That was it, man. That was how they moved all those dang things.
Dodge had one thing,
Yep.
and it was the Hellcat engine. That was it. Other than that, Dodge really doesn't have anything up their sleeves.
No.
It was the whole brand. It was the whole brand.
That's
It
because
was the Hellcat.
everything in the Dodge lineup had a Hellcat engine in it at the end.
And they're like, well, we'll just take this and we'll just make it sound like one and put speakers on it.
Yeah,
and
that's
it'll
so
be easy.
terrible.
And that'll
Terrible.
That
That'll
was
work.
your downfall right there. You're
Terrible.
putting
That's what-
speakers on a car to make it sound
Yeah,
cool.
that's
No,
what you're
I'm
doing.
out. I'm out.
Even Tesla didn't do that. I mean, they have speakers on it, but they don't make it sound like a gas car.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was definitely pushing it. All right, so yes, it is good to have options. I agree, because options are there for a reason. You may like it, I may not. You get to have your way, and so do I. There you go, options done.
Yep.
I'm gonna start blocking Nate on here.
That's what it was when he couldn't get through.
That's right, and I still don't know what the heck that was about.
Actually, the Viper with
Yeah.
what it was what it was. But can you imagine a Viper at that weight with a Hellcat engine in it?
No, they would never put a Hellcat engine in there. That's always going to be a V10. But I would like to see them bring that back. And why they ever discontinued that? The Viper was Dodge's Corvette.
Right.
It's that simple. No idea why they would have discontinued it.
Brandon had one. Yep.
Who owns the nameplate now, Viper? They sold it, so who owns it now?
I can't.
Is it still under Stellantis umbrella? Did they own
probably under the
Viper
umbrella.
nameplate?
That's a good point. I didn't think
Yeah.
about that. It
Because
might not be
remember they
Stellantis,
sold
is
it.
Well, Stellantis owns all the brands, so I don't think they sold it outside of their umbrella because they have like Chrysler, Dodge, Fiat.
Yeah, but I think that was before Stellantis bought it, wasn't it? That they finished off Viper.
Yeah, they bought it.
They may not have
after,
included that in the
They did
sale.
whatever with Viper
That's
because
true.
that was 2013 or whatever, somewhere around
Yeah.
there. So I think that's before Stellantis took over.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
So hopefully they still own it, surely.
They wouldn't have given that away, dude. There's no way because there's always a chance some guy brings it back later on in their
Yeah.
lifetime.
The guy that's there now should be bringing it
Yeah.
back. All right, guys. So we're running a little bit over here. So I don't think I saw anybody else donate, but I got everybody that did donate added in here. So like I said, next Monday night, we're going to have Dante from E5 Wheels on. So he's going to have some questions for you or some answers for your questions on the wheels. Again, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, the E5 Wheels are the sponsor of the channel for the month. So you can choose basically at the end of this next Monday night, you're going to get to choose between the carbon fiber strut tower covers or a $500 gift certificate to E5 Wheels for one of their 3 and possibly 4 incoming wheels. So these are the wheels they have. They have the Speedway, Sebring, and Daytona. Very nice wheels. You can see a lot of different pictures on their website. If we go into the gallery here, you'll be able to see some wheels on the C7 as well as the C8, and I believe they do fit the C6 as well. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
So lots of options here. So whether you have a C6, C7, or a C8, you got an option here on their wheels, and they are working on some wheels for the Z06 C8 as well. Actually, there's one pictured right there, but yeah, so really cool wheels, really cool people. I'm going to have Dante on next week. He's going to be able to answer some questions for you. But that's pretty much it, guys. We ran over a little bit tonight, but
Can I throw in one announcement?
yeah, that's right. I forgot.
That's all right. No problem. Jeremy, you're gonna be really happy about this if you're still in here. So, the spacers for the carbon fiber wheel cars are just about ready to be mocked up for production and getting out there. I actually will. I don't know if it'll be this week, but we're gonna have a link for pre-orders. It's just a deposit, like $50, just to let you guys know that, or let us know that you guys are gonna want them, so that way we kind of know where we're at. But they are very, very close. It's gonna be the upgraded studs. I mean, it's going to be the highest quality, everything you can get, OEM quality plus. But they should be very soon. So I know Jeremy, you've been waiting on a set. Alex and Orlando, you guys all been waiting on a set. So they will be very, very soon coming. That you guys will have spacers for your carbon fiber wheels. So.
What's the price point, David?
He's
Any
not
idea?
sure
You
on
don't
that.
know
That's why he's only taken the $50 so far, because the upgraded studs, like, they have to be cold rolled, like the threads are cold rolled, like top of the line, everything OEM quality better. Again, I mean, it's going to be a little bit more than the actual spacers that he has out now. There's a couple of different designs that he's kicked around and we're working on, but the biggest thing is that we're at a point where all the parts are coming in to get them put together and mocked up, so that way Jeremy, Alex, a lot of you, Anthony Atkinson, like him as well, like you guys, they're coming, and they're going to be 20 millimeter in the back, set at just out like Justin's wheels sit, like my wheels sit, like ours did with it. So they're going to sit flush. And then there's also going to be the 6mm in the front. That's pretty much similar to the one he already has out because it's a really great proven design. So both front and back, and it'll set them flush for you guys. So that should be very, very soon. So we'll have them up, and I don't know, like I said, I may post it, do a video, put it on socials. I may just shoot it to you guys, but there's going to be a link to do. I'll probably put it on my website too, but that way you guys can just pre-order, and it's just a $50. It's fully refundable. But it's like a $50 deposit, so that way he knows just kind of a ramp up of how many we're going to need. Because I've gotten a lot of questions in me. But I know, Jeremy, you've been chomping at the bit for these for a while. So almost done, my man.
Oh, I thought his were 8mm in the front.
What's that?
Nate's.
No. His were 6.
6mm?
Yeah.
No,
I think
5.
his were
Okay.
No, he
Oh,
said they're 6,
6.
not 5.
Yeah, they're 6. Yeah. The only thing he said, I will tell you this, Nate, because I talked to him on the phone yesterday, is that the 8mm are going to push it a little bit further out past flush, and you're going to have to worry even with the rock guards since you're going to be throwing stuff up. Now, I know you got some scrape armor now, but it will push it out a little bit more aggressive to.
I probably wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
more
the
than
6 is like money. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't go anywhere.
Jay says he needs them for the Z06. So Jay, you would what are they going to be on your site? You said.
Either mine, yours, everybody's, whatever. We'll put them, but I'll make sure it gets out there. I'll put it on. I may just do an Instagram post and send them out to all you guys. But Jay, yeah, 100%, dude. They're going to be the best quality you can buy because we're not screwing around with these carbon fiber wheels. But it's going to be the same offset that we had where our set flush. So 20 in the back, 6 in the front, and it's going to be perfect. Like you guys are going to love this when it comes out too. So.
My friend Wayne that I saw today, he said he's either on a pre-order or he's trying to get a set as well. So
Yeah.
it seems like a big demand for those things.
Yeah, it is. And then, like I said, this guy's, the quality is top notch. It's amazing. And again, the stance is going to be perfect, but it's going to be a whole replacement.
This is a good question, actually. Jeremy asked if you about
No.
cutting lugs. I noticed you guys didn't cut lugs in Nate's video. Were those 20 mils in the rear?
Correct.
Okay.
So if you're 18 or above,
Yeah, you don't
18mm or above, you don't have to cut your.
Well, what about
studs.
Jeremy? Since he has the longer studs.
They're longer with the carbon.
for the carbon fiber wheels.
No. All of this is there's going to be it'll all be taken care of, Jeremy. I'm telling you right now because there's either going to be the whole hub will be, or we'll already have the lugs or the studs in there for you, or we're going to do a stud replacement, whatever. But I think we're going to go with the hub design where you just switch it out and it's done. But you won't have to cut anything at all, Jeremy. It'll be bolt off, bolt on, you're done.
You won't have to replace the studs?
No, because if we do that with the studs, it's going to be the whole hub. You just.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Maybe there's some wheels have a recessed area where you can actually.
They do.
rotate
Yeah,
it,
they
you
do,
can
and
go
that's
in.
like that's why
If they're
the
longer,
20
maybe that's how they're able to do that. I don't know.
That's why the
I know
20 or
that's-
better work,
Yeah.
but if you go smaller because it goes in
Yeah.
too much further, it won't work. That's
Right.
why Paragon has to cut the 50.
Maybe that's how they're getting around it. I'm actually going to put a set of the carbon studs actually on my car so that I can move
Yeah,
the wheel.
and Jeremy,
get
I
it out
have your
further.
information. I have some renderings and some things like I can send you some of the CAD stuff, but you won't have to cut anything. Trust me, it's gonna be awesome.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for tonight then. So we are going to sign off here. Big thanks to David. Big thanks to Brandon for tuning in or coming on the show, I guess. Brandon has a fresh new haircut, it looks like.
I know.
I know, it looks freaking good. We're over here looking like
I
scumbags.
know, man.
Look at that
My
jawline.
barber's named Fabian. I go to my barber named Fabian.
I quit.
Why y'all laughing?
I quit.
Huh?
I quit, Brandon.
All right.
What?
All right.
How do you find a guy in Dalton, Georgia that's a barber has named Fabian? Only you, dude. Only you.
He does
I-
a killer
I
fade,
knew-
man.
I
Seriously.
knew-
I know he does a killer Fabian. How the hell
I
do you know?
knew for a fact that when he said that he was joking, and now I know that he's not. It's even funny.
No,
No, he's
no,
not.
he's the best barber I've ever met in my life. He's
Yeah, Nate,
phenomenal.
that's correct, boss. No cutting.
I don't
no
even
nothing.
shave anymore. I just go to him and be like, do your thing.
The front will be the same design.
I just wait a month and I just see him once a month.
You sure it wasn't Fabio?
No, it's Fabian.
If you knew where Brandon lived and the fact that dude's name is Fabian, it
No.
would be even funnier.
10 seconds EO6. We're spinning next Monday night.
Yes,
And
sir.
we'll have two winners. One for the E5 wheels, and the other one will get the carbon fiber strut caps. But that's going to be it, guys. Stay obsessed. Keep hating on those E-rays. We'll see you next Monday night. Same time, same place.